recently had a message from a lovely subscriber who mentioned she was making a concertina book, and it did remind me about how much fun they are. So I'm going to make one as well. And this is my backing. I'm not using all of it. Don't worry, it's not going to be that big. This is a quilt cover that I got from the car boot a couple of years ago. And I just picked it up for £1, I think. They were just selling lots of them. So what I'm going to do is cut a strip. And I want to make a little mini one. So I'm only going to do sort of this big, like 3 centimetres, I think. 3 centimetres, 3 inches, maybe it's 3. And because a quilt is so long, I can have my accordion any length I like. So you've got a lovely straight edge, because obviously when you rip it, it goes straight along the bias or whatever it's called. If you wanted to make yours even bigger, you can just sort of add another piece, and then it would carry on. Obviously not in a circle. No, I don't know. Circle book? Anybody? Maybe not. So the other thing that inspired me to make this was that I found at my scrap store this big bag of yummy scraps. It said very small bits. So yeah, I want to use these because look at the colours in there. It's like an explosion of like mermaidness. And I just think it's going to be super cool. So I want to use these. So it's going to end up being quite a junky little book, and probably chunky and chunky. So I hope you join me. Grab yourself a strip of fabric. You can make it whatever size you like. You can do a big book, you can do mini books, you can do 4-inch books is usually what I make. But I just thought I may not even use all this. This seems quite large. And all we're going to do to start with is just sort of fold. Now, I have got my iron here and I could get it out and warm it up. But I'm just going to do this for quickness sake. And I'm going to make my pages roughly 3. I'm going to turn it round. It's going to be a bit of faffing because I'm going to be flipping this backwards and forwards. So to make your book, you need to fold your paper backwards and forwards like a concertina and press this edge. Just like that. You can finger press it and then come back and make the next one. And this is just the base. Okay, so you keep going and just do this all the way through until you get to however many pages you want. I've just got an extra long bit, but I'm just showing you. You can carry on all the way to the end of your fabric. You can just stop and leave it at that for now, because what you want to do next is cut yourself some 3-inch squares, because they're going to be what we're stitching on, and then we're just going to stitch them into the book. And your book will be opening up like this, and these will be your pages like this. Okay, and you'll be doing both sides. So if you want to join me, get yourself some fabric, make yourself a little mini book, sort of pause it here and then come back and we'll carry on and we'll stitch our first little square. Oh, don't forget your scraps. While you've been gone, I did iron mine, so I've got nice sharp creases. And because I know that not everybody is happy without measurements, I'm going to just measure mine. So it's 3 3/4 by 3. I obviously didn't fold it properly. Okay, and my little pages are 3 by 2.5 and a little bit. That's about as good as I get. But they fit. No, oops, slight little iPhone storage is full message. So it's fine now. I've deleted some videos. Okay, and for those of you who want to know how long my fabric is, I will undo it and tell you. Okay, so that's 12 inches to there. So that will be 24. Probably 36. Look at that. Pretty much 36 inches. And you're probably wondering why I've got little foldovers at the end. Oh, well, I can't get this back now. There we go. These little flaps you need at this end, so like this. So you've got all your flips, all your pages, and then you've got these that flip out, and they have to be like this because these are what you're going to stitch or glue into your book. Okay, whether it's fabric cover or whether it's a hardback cover. So that's the bit that's going to have to glue in somewhere. For my size, I'm going to get 20 pages. So if yours is shorter or longer, doesn't matter. We're just going to go with whatever we make, aren't we? So the first thing I'm going to do is grab one of my little... Well, now we've got all that bit out the way, I want to get into my fabric scraps. So, oh, look at this though. I'm just going to take pieces out and stitch them down because they're scraps. Oh, I can't cut it. I need my scissors, don't I? Oh, look at it. Oh, it's so yummy. We're going to have a fold. We're going to do that. Oh, it's so nice. Look at this. Like printed fabric. Oh, let's put that on first. And this is all you can need to do. We are not aiming for any... So this is all you need to do. There's no rules. The only rules are have fun. It's the wonky stitch away. Have fun and enjoy yourself. We will make things and we will play. And this is playtime. Making things is pretty much playtime anyway. And I'm just going to mainly do running stitch because it's nice and quick. So I hope you've got ready. I hope you've got your scraps. I'm always using scraps. I don't think I have anything else. I don't actually have any proper pieces of fabric from anywhere. Big quilt covers. But I mean, how much fabric have I got from that? It's amazing. I mean, it's both sides of a quilt. So if you ever see a quilt cover, or I don't know what you call it in America. I mean, we call them duvets or quilts. If you see one and you like the design, just don't think of it as a quilt cover. Think of the fabric, because that's all it is cotton fabric. And it's way cheaper to buy them from your charity shops or your thrift stores as a massive old duvet cover than it is to go and buy it off the roll. So if it's something you're going to use, then grab it. grab it and think about it later. No, I'm not convincing you to go out and buy it. I'm just saying, if you spot something that is right up your street, like this bag of bits, for me, is perfect. I mean, it's mostly blues, which is, you know, pretty cool because I love a bit of blue. But also, I know I'll use it. So, and you can use this as a little stitch book if you want to. You could practice your stitches in it. I could do some practice stitching, practice knots, learn some new stitches. I did learn a new stitch the other day. I learned the the sheaf stitch, I think it's called. I was going to say wheat sheaf, but it's a sheaf stitch. And I can't remember who I was watching. It might have been Daniela. Possibly. I'll try and remember and link if I can remember. There we go. First piece is on. Now remember that this doesn't actually have to mean anything. It doesn't have to be in any way. Oops, I've got this tangled. Oopsie, we're tied in a knot. So whatever you do, don't forget that this is basically, what am I doing? I'm cutting that off. I'm not cutting that off. Just for having fun. You're not aiming to do anything apart from make a bit of art. Look at that. I'm going to come up. And I could have changed colour, but I've got this colour, so I'm just going to keep going. We're going to go down to the corner. Oh, look at this. That's so yummy. And it's just going to be full of texture. So if you've not made a little book like this where you can just stitch in scraps and just enjoy yourself. I think this is what slow stitching was made for. just having a bit of fun with your fabrics. Oop. And maybe knots in threads. Right, before I carry on with that, because I quite like this bit. I know, I'm sorry. It's just that it's just so cool. Right, so I'm going to go back down, but I want to put this over the top. So, and you can do these really fast. You can do them as neat as you want. You can do them as messy as you want, like me. Maybe we'll do a mixture. And I was thinking about making a little story up along the way. Because, you know, I like my stories. I do like to have a little... Maybe it should be a story about a mermaid. I haven't got any pictures of mermaids. I'll have to have a look and see what I can find. And maybe... Or maybe we can just try and stitch one. Eek! That would be fun, wouldn't it? So, yeah, that sort of appeals to me. And maybe it can be like a story running through the book. Like we did with Sally. And I know you love Sally, but, you know, we need to do something different too. So I've had some suggestions as well about what we can actually make, because I do want to make some useful things this year. so many threads. Look at that. Oh, you want to be part of it? Okay, well, if you stay there, you're going to get stitched on. So the wonky stitching is going to come out in full force with this little book. We are going to, yes, we are going to rethread as per normal. Okay, right, where are we? We're somewhere around here. Let's just stitch that bit down there. No rules, guys. It's just for fun. Doesn't have to be perfect. In fact, the wonkier the better. I couldn't believe it when I found that bag of scraps. I was like, oh, I know exactly what I want to do with that lot. And in my favourite colours. I mean, it's just meant to be. Right, I am running out of thread, so I think I'm going to stop there. And tie it off. And just do a little double knot at the back, like that. Put my needle through. Well, we can throw that bit away. I can't use that. And I've got some threaded. I've got some of this. It's a bit paler, but it'll do. And I've been practicing. Watch this. Watch this for like a new skill I've learnt. Right, so I get the long end of my thread and put it over the top. And I hold it like this. And then I wrap this bit round and round and round and round a few times, like 5. And then you slide it all the way to the bottom and you've got a knot. I watched that on a little short the other day and I thought, ha! Look at that. Saves all the twiddling with your thumb that never works. So I'm going to do a little short on that. Because I'm so happy to have found a new way. This needle's very clunky and thick. I've just realised. Right, now I know I've done straight stitches, but how cool is this? Right, where's it going? Where does it want to go? It wants to go over there. Let's let it go where it wants to go. I will carry on. We'll just do straight stitches. We're not going to do anything too complicated today. I'm in a let's not do anything complicated mood. You know, some days you feel like having a go at something, like making something. And yes, I've had some suggestions. Lynn says eyeglasses case. So we might have a go at that soon. I do have an idea for next week. So we'll be making something next week. And we might alternate and do a bit of wonky, messy stitching and then a making one. Just to keep everybody happy. And because I just love the wonky stuff. But I just really, really want to make things. Not clothes. I don't think I can make clothes. Definitely not that good. But I think we can make little things. So I will look forward to all your suggestions in the comments. And I know that you all love to comment. Thank you. See, I'm doing it that way because that's automatic for me. I'm going to have another go at this. Right. So over the top, like that. And then round, around, 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 and down. And all the way. Oh, I do struggle with that little bit. All the way to the bottom, and you've got a knot. Oh. How cool is that? I mean, you can trim that bit off if you don't want it long. You know, you can just go. Because you do end up with quite a long little tail. So, look at that. How cool is that? I think it looks better that way. It looks like a wave. How amazing is that? We weren't even planning that. So, what are we going to put on it? Da, da, da. How am I going to do a mermaid? We'll just have to tell the story of the mermaid. I do have some buttons. I've got some buttons out, some blue ones and some white ones, because I thought it might be a bit too much blue. So what if we just put a button on? There's a nice big one. That's pretty. I like that. It could be the moon. Let's put it up there. That's the moon. So the mermaid is going to be the little star of the show. I'll try and find one because I quite like having a little character. I did a little character on my Christmas December daily. We had Waddles the penguin, and it was so fun to actually, take him along with all the adventures. Really loved it. I'm just a big kid at heart, I think. That's the trouble. I don't want to be a grown-up. And on that note, I'll shut up. Because I'm sure we don't want to be grown-ups. How about that? How cool. That is brilliant. As a first page, I am really happy with that. So, all that's left is to stitch it into our book like that. And I'm going to do it again. You're going to get so fed up of me doing this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Well, I don't think that was 5. I think that was 4. This bit I find really tricky, just getting it off the end. But it always makes a knot. It's just genius. I can't remember where I saw it. I just saw a short on how to thread a needle. Because I knew you could do it that way. I just couldn't find... Oh, maybe there should be one on how to stop your needle unthreading. I know it's to double it up, but I don't want a double amount of cotton thread, whatever you're using. Don't forget, this is the chance in this book to use up some of these, okay? Use up some of your odd threads that you've got. Because they're they multiply, I think. I do believe they multiply. And I know I'm stitching again over the top. If you don't want to stitch twice, then, you can stitch straight on to your page. Completely up to you. There's so many different ways to do this. In fact, I will move that out of the way because knowing me, I'll probably stitch through a few pages. And we'll have to undo it. Otherwise my book won't work. Little running stitch all the way round. And this is the sort of thing that you can sit and do when you're, watching TV or, waiting on a train or something when you're just sitting with nothing to do. I'd love to be able to take this on a plane, but I'm not allowed to take scissors and needles. It'd be so good, I could get loads done. But I'm sure they don't allow you to take... I don't know about these. Maybe they'll let you take these. But still, I don't know about needles. It's it would be such a lovely pastime to do while I'm... Oh, I don't know what I've done there. While I was on the plane to Australia, it would really make the journey go faster. Because I'd be actually doing something. And I can't even put them in my hand luggage to do while I'm waiting for the next plane because, not allowed on the plane now. Unless anybody knows different. If there's anybody watching who knows if I can take these on a Now, I'm going to use this bit up now. It's green, but it's sort of one thread. Let me just thread it. Okay. So yeah, I'm using green now because I've got it. Now, the one thing you have to remember when you do this little manoeuvre is that one goes on the top of the needle like that, and you hold it, and then this starts and you wrap the long bit round the back. I couldn't figure it out for ages. Where am I? I'm going along here. Yep. So I'm in green, but I am using up all my little bits of threads. I might not use the pink ones. Unless I'm doing, I could do some coral. We did coral ages ago. Right back at the beginning. That was fun. That was definitely fun, that one, because I got to do like all sorts of new knots and things. So if you want me to do coral next time, let me know that in the comments. You know, the comments are great and I always read them and I do respond to everybody. So, you know, don't think that you're going to comment and it's never going to be seen. I read all of my comments and I answer them all. So, do ask me anything in the comments. Quite happy to take on your suggestions and ideas. I don't know if I'm on that. I think I've come off. Yeah, I'll come back a bit. And use up your scraps. Absolutely perfect way. Bit of unwinding, a bit of fun, and using up scraps. And I'm sure you've got some of them you want to use up. And some odd bits of cotton. There we go. So, let's turn it the right way up. And I'm going to refold my book in a minute. And I've got some extra pages ready. Let's refold my book up. And there we go. That's our first page done. We could put a quote or something. Oh, we could put quotes on. Oh, we could. Oh, what can we put on? I don't know. I don't know how I'd get it on. I'll think about that, whether we're going to put quotes or whether we're just going to leave it as like a story that tells itself. Like, this could be A Mermaid's Tale. So the story begins when the mermaid is swimming in the sea on a moonlit night. And then we'll carry on to the next day or the next page. So excited. If you want to join me, go make yourself a little book. You don't need to do mermaids. You just do what you do. You do you. Okay? And I'll see you again next week when we're actually going to make something useful. Bye, guys.